Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood.
Welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood, one sculpt at a time. It was about 9 months ago that I sculpted one of my favorite characters of all time, and of course that's Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I had every intention of bringing this series back and sculpting more characters from this show in October. Keep it spooky, keep it on theme, but I couldn't wait. The show's just too good. And so today we're going to be sculpting one of the loudest, most unhinged, and honestly probably the scariest character in that show of all time, and that's Eustace. Now, if you don't remember, Eustace is a crotchety old man that pretty much is the reason why Courage has lifelong trauma. This man would wake up every day and choose violence. Like, imagine beefing with something that's whole motto is, the things I do for love, and still decide to make his life worse. Like, that's just terrible. I mean, I guess that's what living in the middle of nowhere can do to you. Turn you into a dusty, crusty, crotchety old geezer. Anyway, the goal of this is we are going to be making this guy look weathered. Like, I'm talking, I want him to look like he's been sitting on his porch getting blasted by sandstorms for the past 40 years. So right now I've basically got the rough shape of his head, nothing crazy yet, just enough to kind of figure out where things are going to be living. I went ahead and also penciled in where his mouth is going to go, just to map things out. And up next we're going to be working on his nose. For this I just took a small dank nug of clay, shaping it into that classic old bulbous nose shape. Before applying that to the face, then using my thumbs to blend it in, I then grab my small ball stylus, poking in some nostril holes, and then going around the outside, giving him those nostril flaps. I want this nose to look like it's seen some things, and probably smelt them too. After taking my thumbs and pushing in his eye sockets, I go ahead and give him some temples and some more pronounced cheekbones before taking this little wedge-shaped sculpting tool to give him more of that furrow brow. I go around the mouth adding little subtle details before going up to his eyes. And honestly, all the references I could find for this guy's eyes are just him basically squinting at you in pure judgment. So I'm just taking a small shaping tool and just pressing where the eyes should be. I then go around the face using a variety of different sculpting tools to add some of that weathering before moving on to his glasses. Now to make Eustace's iconic glasses, I went ahead and pre-baked these little circles of clay before taking a little piece of armature wire that I shaped into a staple shape, super gluing those all together, and pressing those onto the face to make sure everything fits proper, and we got ourselves a nice pair of nerd shades. I was mostly happy with how those look, but for now we're going to go ahead and pop those off and start on his ears. For this I just took a ball of clay, smashing it flat, slicing it in half, giving the two sides a somewhat ear shape before pressing those onto the side of the head. After a little bit more earlobe refinement, I could then take a silicone sculpting tool, blending that into the side of the face, and once I got those ears fully blended in, I went in with a variety of different sculpting tools, giving him that inner ear detail. Once I was happy with that, I went ahead and popped those glasses back onto his face just to leave a little bit of a ridge, that way after baking they stay onto his face. And so with that, he's off to the oven for his first bake. And with Eustace back from the oven and his wrinkles locked into place, it's time to move on to his signature hat. Now his hat's kind of a weird mix between a newsboy hat and a baseball cap. It's basically what the Peaky Blinders would wear if they played baseball. To achieve this look, I just took a dank nug of clay, smashing that onto the top of his head, giving it a rough cap shape. Once I was happy with how that was looking, we could go ahead and pop that off his head. Then I went ahead and pre-cut this little bill off camera. Then we're gonna stick that onto the front. Once I was happy with the position and the length of it, we could go ahead and stick that back onto the head and start to dial in that rim shape. Once I was happy with the silhouette of the hat, we could go ahead and pop that off, and then using the grippy end of my X-Acto knife, I'm gonna be going over top of the hat, giving it some texture. This is one of my favorite methods that I use for adding texture to clothes and hats or whatever it be. I was pretty happy with how texturized this hat was looking, so we're gonna go ahead and make a small button to go on top. For this, I just took a small ball of clay, smashing it flat, finding at the center of the hat and pressing it in. I went ahead and pre-baked his hat off camera, and now we could safely remove his hat and glasses so we don't accidentally crush them when we start on his body. I went ahead and pressed a piece of armature wire into a pre-drill hole in the back of his head. This just gives us a solid connection point for his body. I start to bulk up his neck by taking a small chunk of clay, wrapping it around the wire, pressing it up under the head and blending it out. I then went ahead and attached these two little rolled out worm bits from the bottom of the head connecting to the neck to give him some signature geezer neck flaps. Once I got those things smoothed out and looking baggy, we could go ahead and start on his body. As for Eustace's body, I went ahead and took a chunk of clay, roughly giving it a basic torso shape, nothing too detailed yet, just enough to get the proportions right, and after sliding that torso up that piece of armature wire, I'm going to roughly shape in his shoulders. Next, I take some pre-cut pieces of armature wire, inserting them into the side of his body to make up his arms. I originally wanted to make these interchangeable, that way I could pose them into different positions, but unfortunately that's a little bit out of my skill level at the moment. So for now, we're going to be settling for a natural in-between pose, something that looks good whether he's wearing his mask or just his glasses and hat. And that's probably the first you're hearing of it, but yes, we are going to be making his mask. Of course, it's Eustace. Who is he without his mask? Anyway, now that I got these little sleeve bits connected to his torso, we could go ahead and take those pieces of armature wire, inserting them into those little sleeve bits. And once we got those arms locked into their position, we could go ahead and pop it in the oven. And now that we got Eustace back and baked from the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and pause on the arms for a few minutes and move down and work on his legs. First, I bulk up the lower section by taking a chunk of clay to build up that crotch and hip area so everything feels connected and supported. Once his crotchal regions blended into his torso, I could start inserting a few pieces of armature wire and give his legs some structure. I then take some rolled out pieces of clay, sliding them up those pieces of armature wire, building up each leg before blending everything back up into the upper body so it all flows together. And once I was happy with the basic structure of the legs, I went in with the back end of my X-Acto knife and a few different sculpting tools to add in all those wrinkles and folds. Really going for that. I've been wearing these exact same overalls for the past 69 years and they're not gonna stop me now look. And with the lower section of his overalls complete, we're gonna go ahead and pause there real fast, move up to his collar of his shirt, add that in real quick, and then we can move back down to add the upper section of his overalls. I went ahead and took a flattened out square piece of clay, measuring that up against his chest. Once I found out how high I wanted those little cutouts to be, I went ahead and then laid that down, cutting out those little C shapes, reapplying that to the chest, making sure I just blend out the bottom portion before repeating the same exact process for the back. And once I got both of his front and back bibs connected, I could go in with the back end of my X-Acto knife to give his overalls some much needed detailing. And while I'm scratching in some of this detail, it'd be a good time to go down in the comments below and let me know who you guys would like me to sculpt next. This show has a lot of really iconic characters and there's a ton of them that I want to sculpt, but I'd rather sculpt who you guys would like to see first. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be from this show. It could be literally any cartoon character. Just let me know. Anyway, now that we got that detail all drawn in, we could go ahead and start working on his strippy straps. For this, I took a couple strips of clay, wrapping that over top of his shoulders, connecting them in the back. I then take a few balls of clay, putting those onto the front part of his overalls. Using a ball stylus, I go in the middle of those and kind of deboss the center to make a couple of buttons. I was pretty happy with the overall shape of those overalls. I hate myself. We're just gonna go ahead and move on to the shoes. After taking a ball of clay, I'm gonna roll it out into this long oval shape. Once I was happy with the shape of that, I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife, slicing that down the center. Then after a little bit of refinement, I'm gonna slice off the back, then using my thumb, I'm gonna flatten it out a bit before sticking it onto the bottom of the pants. He's got some big feet, this dude. This guy's feet are about the size of his head. Is that normal? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven. And with Eustace's body back from the oven, we could go ahead and start working on his arms. Now I pretty much have one tried and true method that I use for sculpting arms, and that starts with a copious amount of bacon bond that I cover the armature wire with. Once I got it thoroughly coated, I wrap it with a thin piece of flattened out clay, wrapping it over the top, pinching it off, then slicing off the excess bits. I then go over the seams, rubbing it out, make it all one cohesive piece, and then I add a little bit of arm detail. Went ahead and sliced off a little bit on the end there, that way we have something to put the hands onto. As for the hands, we're going to be starting with a ball of clay that I smash flat, slice off one side that I put to the side because we're going to be using it as the thumb. I make 3 strategic slices, then take those little bits and round them out into fingers. Take that little piece that I was saving for the thumb, reattaching that back to the hand, go ahead and blend that in, and then taking a variety of different sculpting tools, we're going to be going over top of the hand, giving it that much needed detail to help it look a little bit more realistic. And once I was happy with how the hands were looking, we could go ahead and take it and stick it onto that little extra bit that's hanging off the wrist. Once I got that hand blended into the rest of the arm, I went ahead and repeated the same process for the other side, and he's off to the oven. And with Eustace in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and start on his Ooga Booga Booga mask. Off camera, using a piece of cardboard, I cut out this basic mask shape that we're gonna be using for the base of his mask. I make little slices across the back to make it a little bit more malleable before cutting halfway down the center and then folding that over top and then using a piece of aluminum foil tape to lock it in place. Once we got our base structure done, I went ahead and rolled out a large piece of clay, laying that over the top. I then go around with my X-Acto knife, slicing off all the excess bits. I did coat the entire thing with some liquid Sculpey, I just didn't film it. Now that we got the thing completely covered and trimmed, we can go ahead and start adding some details. Starting off with those little jaggedy spikes that are on the top. Went ahead and just cut out these little triangles in the clay first, and then I followed it up by actually slicing through the cardboard once I was happy with the actual shape of those. I want to make the mask look like it was made of wood, so I'm going to go ahead and cut in some beams here, and then using a rough sponge, I'm going to go over top of it to give it some wood grain. Gonna go ahead and pop it in the oven real quick just to save our spot, and with the mask back we could go ahead and start adding more details. Eustace's mask has almost witch-like features, so we're gonna start off by giving it a big old chin. I stuck this chunk of clay to the bottom of the mask, giving it a rough chin shape before blending it into the rest of the mask. And once I was happy with the size and shape of that chin, I could go over top of it with my X-Acto knife and a variety of different sculpting tools to repeat some of that wood texture. With the base of the mask complete, we can move on to his mouth. For this, I rolled out a nice long snake of clay, wrapping it around into a somewhat smile shape, connecting the ends, and then I gently press it into the mask. For his teeth, I went ahead and just cut these little half circles out off camera. Go ahead and put those into the inside of the mouth. And as for the mask's big ol' schnoz, I literally just took a ball of clay, smashing it in my hands and flattening it on one end. Press that onto the face, give it a little bit of nostril detailing, and then I added these little warts to the end of the nose. As for the eyes, I went ahead and rolled out a big ball of clay, slicing it in half. I made one of those balls slightly more oblong, then I pressed those onto the face. I then took a ball stylus, finding where the pupil should go, pressing those in. And to finish off the mask, I do a little bit of detailing over the top of the one eye. We can pop it in the oven for its final bake. And with Eustace and his mask all back and baked, we could go ahead and set the mask aside and start the painting process. Now I like to start things off by giving the entire thing a base coat of its initial base coat colors, starting with the shoes. We're just going to be painting those solid black before going up to his overalls. For the overalls, I'm going to be using a color called Intermediate Green. And for those of you that care, the brand of paint that I'm using is called Vallejo, I think that's the brand, but they're just like basic model color paints. You could pretty much find them at any of your hobby shops like Hobbytown USA, Hobby Lobby. I think I actually got these from Amazon, but they work great. They have a nice matte finish. Once I'm done painting his overalls green, I'm going to go ahead and paint his buttons black before moving on to his shirt. As for a shirt, we're going to be going for an off-white. The color I used is called Unbleached Titanium. Has a nice yellowy tone to it. We're going to go ahead and set him aside for a few seconds to paint his hat. For now, we're going to keep it simple and just go with a dark brown. With the hat completed, we're going to go ahead and go back to Eustace and start painting on his skin. Now, despite the fact that Eustace is a farmer, he has some pretty pale skin. To get this color, I mixed up Unbleached Titanium and a little bit of cadmium red to get this sickly color. And now that we're done painting Eustace with about 6 layers, we can move on to painting his glasses. Now when I was painting his glasses, I was kind of having the realization that I would rather have these clear instead of just painting on them. I think it'd be a more realistic look. So I ended up making these ones off camera, and all I did was take some glue sticks actually and cutting these little chunks out of them. I ended up liking these glasses way more. They look way more realistic. Speaking of realistic, it's time to make him more of that, because he has a very flat paint job. So starting things off, we're going to be going over his overalls with a dark brownish green wash, letting it sink down into all those little cracks and recesses to make those details pop. I then go over top of the overalls with a dry brushing of that initial green just a little bit lighter. As for Eustace's shirt, we're going to keep it real nice and simple, just going over top of it with a dark brown wash, letting it sit down in those recesses just to make the shirt a little bit more interesting to look at. Now moving on to my favorite part of the painting process, and that's painting the face. Now I found that the best way to make skin more realistic is to use multiple different colors of washes. So I start things off by using a cyan wash, really watered down, going over top of the eyes, cheeks, ears, mouth, nose. I also add some to the neck and bottom of the head, and add a little bit more variety to the skin tone. We're going to be going over top of that with a cadmium red wash. This red has a little bit more warmth to it and just helps kind of separate the skin a little bit. And like always, I let it sit on the skin for a little bit, then I dab it off with a cloth. I also go over a few different spots that I didn't hit with that initial color just to give it a little bit more variety. I'm gonna go ahead and pause there for a second while I let the head dry. Moving down to the fingers and hands, I'm gonna be using that same cadmium red, making sure it sinks into all those cracks and recesses. I also use a little bit on the back of the elbow. And now that his face is completely dry, we could then go back over top of it with a grayish blue, going over the chin and mouth region. This is gonna make it look like he has a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. I also use this to draw in some veins over his temples and forehead. And with that, Eustace's paint job's pretty much completed, and we could go on to working on his mask. Now we're gonna be doing pretty much the exact same thing that we did for Eustace, starting with those base coat colors. The base of the mask is gonna be getting that same exact color as his overalls. It's that intermediate green. Once I got the mask completely covered, we could then go on to the lips. The lips are gonna have a little bit more of a vibrant, more light greens, so I used that intermediate green with a little bit of lime green and white. And as for the inside of the mouth, I'm going to be using some watered down cyan. I'm going to be trying my best not to get it on the teeth. And as for one of the mask's eyes and its teeth, I'm going to be using an off-white color called Parchment. It's a pretty thin paint, so I'm going to be building it up in layers. As for that nose, it's going to be this purplish red color, and I got this color by mixing purple and cadmium red. And it was at this point that I realized my camera was about to die, so I tried to rush the process of me painting this other eye, but the camera ended up dying anyway, and I ended up missing me painting these black rings that go around the eye. So shame on me for trying to rush the process. But to finish off the mask, we're going to be keeping it real nice and simple, just going over the entire surface with a black wash, letting it sink into all those cracks, and then wiping it off. And with that and a little bit of off-camera detailing, we're onto those JCPenney glamour shots. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and also leave a comment down below of who you would like to see me sculpt next. I'll see you next time.